Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am here today with Nick Ponte, who's half of Offline Sharks. Him and his business partner, Tom. I've been good friends with both of them for a long time, and I'm super excited to have you here today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's man, we've known each other for a while now.
I know it feels like ages,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited because today we're going to talk about basically how you've like doubled your agency's revenue growth since last year, which is kind of crazy. Well, I guess maybe the year before that, right? Because then we got hit with COVID and all of that. And that's really when you started to double things down, which most people were suffering during that time. And you're thriving, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a wild ride and quite the journey. And I feel like I talked to you a lot about what's kind of going on. So you've been really, I mean, you see a
Yeah,
lot of like what I talk about. So yeah, and we really did, double our revenue at probably arguably one of the most difficult years to do something like that. So yeah, it's been I was, kind of blown away too.
it's crazy. And I mean, I think I'm correct on this, but didn't you get the office you're in right now kind of right before this all happened too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Smart decision, bright or great decision maker me. I mean, I literally signed a lease like 2 days before. I live in Hawaii, so the whole state went on like a statewide lockdown like everywhere else, but for us is a little different because we're, little islands, and our economy is like 100% tourism travel industry, and so they cut off like all incoming flights completely, like 100%.
Man, that
So
sucks.
yeah, it's crazy. And for me, I mean, I signed the lease on this place, which sucks because I was like, I was actually kind of like taking a risk because it's a little more pricey than I was planning on, and they kind of like talked me, they upsold me into getting a bigger space. And I was like, okay, well, maybe if I can like, really grind and make it happen with what I'm doing, I can make it work. And then that happened, lockdown, shutdown. And
Yeah.
it's tough for us because we work with businesses, right? Like local businesses is really our bread and butter. um, and a lot of them rely on the tourist industry as well. So not just, our revenue being and businesses being disrupted, but especially them. So, the first places that they usually cut revenue is to marketing companies like us.
True.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it sucked.
As long as we're talking about revenue, I've got some other stuff I want to ask you, but just for those watching who just kind of want to know like what kind of revenue they could maybe make doing this, can you just kind of talk a little bit about where you were and kind of like where you took things now since all that's
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. So, um, a couple of things, we've the way that we were able to do everything was because we were able to make some smart decisions and change our business while all of that was going on. And so with that, we found a way to really do some prospecting, a really great way of doing it that allowed us to bring in new customers regardless of what was going on. And the cool thing about this is it really works regardless of what you're selling. It doesn't really matter if if your thing is websites, or for, I know for you, it's, lead gen or SEO. I mean, I like SEO
Yeah.
too. Um, or even if you're like, you're trying to prospect to realtors, like it doesn't really matter. This works with just about anything. So
Yeah.
that's the good news. For me, it just so happens that like I sell digital services. I do like websites and SEO. And I actually pulled up my, let me pull up my screen here. I don't normally do this, but um, I just wanted to kind of share some of that like revenue that came in last year, for my agency, right? Because this is really, this is my Square account. I still have a Square account. I know a lot of people are like, well, why do you
I
use
like
Square? But
Square actually.
I like it too. I like it
Yeah.
too, and it's easy to work with businesses. I know, but I see like a lot of influencers out there that are, making tons of money, and they got all this content going out there. They always have like Stripe and stuff. But for me, it's easy to send invoices to
Yeah.
customers with Square, and they really trust it. And once I started getting like a bunch of recurring services like SEO, right? Like I would send them a recurring invoice that they just put their credit card information in, and it bills each and every month. I didn't really want to disrupt that. Like I don't want to like tell them like, hey, let's go. We're going to move over to QuickBooks, or, I know there are a lot of great platforms out there. And that's a long-winded story of why I'm still using Square, but I didn't want to disrupt that. So I'm still using it. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
I started
anyway,
using it to sell CDs back in the day.
and it's actually a great company. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
grown a lot. And I've actually asked them to make some changes to their invoicing,
Oh, did you?
and they did it for me. They like
Really?
did it.
Wow.
I was like, holy crap, this is a great business. Like that experience actually made me want to invest in their stock because they were really listening to their, customer base, which I thought was really important.
I actually invest in them too. It's a great company to invest in, I
It's a
think,
good one.
personally. Not investing
It's
in
a good one.
advice, by the way, but
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Yeah. Um, we could go down that rabbit hole. They just bought a bunch of crypto too. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. But
Yeah,
we'll park it there. So yeah, I mean, my if I jump over to, like, you can see this is Nick Ponte Marketing, right? This is my agency. In the last 30 days, we've billed 18,900,
that's
and
awesome.
there's a drop in revenue there because we have recurring services, right? So each month we get a set amount, and because of those recurring services, we haven't hit a bunch of those this month yet. And yeah, I wanted to make the distinction here that, this is my agency Square account. Like, I do have another company where, Offline Sharks, where we teach people how to do this stuff. But
Yeah,
this
this is
revenue,
like your agency. Like this is where
yeah,
you're working with clients. This isn't like
exactly.
selling courses or yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
has
yeah.
nothing to do with the revenue from Offline Sharks.
Love that.
And yeah, and it's important to make that distinction because, this is the revenue that we're talking about that we doubled. And, for a lot of people, it's important that they also know that I don't spend like even half my time in this business, um, because I have a lot of other things going on. That is also important because we were able to double our revenue. But really, where I do spend my time in this business is focusing on these revenue producing activities, which we talk about, and that can be like, you know, um, talking to clients, getting customers, not to be confused with designing business cards for myself, or
Hmm.
getting the perfect website or logo set up for myself. Anything that can really actually move the needle in your business is a revenue producing activity. And that's what I focus my time on. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit more about as well. But yeah,
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
this year or this month, 18,000. Last year we did around, in 2020, we did around, or 2019, we did around 240,000. And this year we had just hit right around 400,000. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
Very, very cool.
yeah.
So what's your background? How did you get into doing this stuff?
That's funny. So yeah, I'm a mechanic. Like, I work on cars. I'm trying to stop my screen share. Yeah, so I work on cars for a living back in the day. That was my thing.
Yeah.
And my boss, one day I saw him struggling with his website, and I just kind of was like, oh, I could probably help you with that. I didn't really know how to do it, but I knew I could
Figure it
ask
out.
Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really snowballed it. I mean, I did that for him, and then I from there went and got like an actual client, and I was like, wow, this is a good side hustle. I can make some money doing this, and it really just snowballed from there.
Were you just kind of using like WordPress and learning that way?
Yeah, I so actually my first one that I built was like the GoDaddy website builder
Oh,
editor.
okay.
Super ghetto, but
Yeah.
I mean, it got the job done. And then, like, yeah, I got introduced to WordPress and got really interested in that, and which led me to SEO.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, do you think this is something like that? Someone who's just starting off, a beginner, is this something that they would be able to come in and replicate?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've actually just got a amazing testimonial from a guy named Bryce, who's a member of our community. Because we're regularly talking about ways that we're doing this in our community, and it's cool to see other people in our community getting these types of results. So I got a testimonial just this morning, from a guy named Bryce. And so, seeing people that come in with, really beginner level and implement this is really powerful for me, because I know that, what I really struggled with was having like a big lack of confidence with getting new customers. Is really tough to be like, hey, will you pay me $500 a month? But I don't really know, like, that I'm confident in what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that For other people, it's the same. And so my way around that was really getting other people to help me talk to customers, reaching out to
Mhm.
them, bringing them in. And, that really, those little wins started to add up, right? Like when they started talking to people for me and bringing customers in, I started to get and build confidence off those experiences and what they were helping me do. So, what we're doing now essentially is having other people help us do what we're not good at, which is the prospecting, bringing
Right.
in more customers, doing the outreach for us.
That's awesome. So that kind of leads into my next question. I was going to ask you, you've got this product coming out called Yellow Brick Road. What exactly, like, if you could just roughly explain, what's the concept of this product? What would someone get out of it? And like, what is the end result? Like, if they buy it, what are they going to get? What's the end result? Like, what can they expect?
Yeah, that's so I would say to that, if I mean, right now, right, you're on this video, pull up your phone or your calendar on your computer, if you're your desktop or on YouTube or whatever. And, you know, if you don't see like 4 or 5 or 6 appointments with, potential qualified prospects that are waiting to hear more about your products and services, then you probably have a pretty big hole in your business. And
Yeah,
so with the yellow brick road strategy, the yellow brick road to success, we just kind of landed on that name. I thought it was pretty cool.
it is cool.
Um, you can expect to uncover our exact system, all of our templates, our exact SOPs on how we are able to have somebody help us consistently booking appointments in our calendar for us. Again, regardless of your products and services, we're selling websites, ads, reputation, SEO, social media. Like it doesn't really matter. It's whatever you
Right.
want to sell.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I'll just throw this out there right now. I'm going to talk more about it at the end of the video, guys. But one of the things that I'm going to be throwing in as a bonus is a service that you can sell that you can bill $5,000 for. And I'm going to give you my SOP for actually training your virtual assistants to do it. So you don't have to worry about it. You just have to hire a virtual assistant to do it for you. And you're going to go and follow Nick and Tom's script to land the client, get the appointments, and then you'll use my SOP to fulfill that client. So I'll talk more about that at the end, but I just want to throw that out there as well.
Yeah, man. I didn't know you were doing that. I
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of want to,
really.
can I get access to that? Like that's,
I will
I've,
give you access to it at the end for sure.
okay, cool. I mean, I've like a lot of the strategy and information that you've put out there over the course that I've known you. I mean, I've made a lot of money with and had a lot of success with. So, I know that your stuff works really well all the time, which is why I pretty much come to you whenever I have
I
questions.
appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, we bounce ideas off of each other all the time, so that's
Yeah.
always fun. So, okay, so what do you think the advantages are of an appointment setter versus, because I know you have someone that like is helping you out, they're setting the appointments. Like, what's the advantage of having someone do that? Whether it be, I mean, it doesn't need to be someone who's like in your office, right? You could
No.
do a virtual assistant or
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Actually,
what are some of the advantages to that versus just maybe doing what someone might be doing now, maybe like cold email outreach or whatever they're doing?
there's a lot of advantages to it. I don't really know that there are a lot of disadvantages to it other than the initial like fear of having somebody help you do that. And then there's also some fear based around like how much you're gonna have to pay somebody to do that. But in fact, our very first appointment setters, like we found a way to get that process implemented and going without even using any of our money.
That's
And we actually
awesome.
share that in the training. So if you're a noob, if you're on a shoestring budget like Tom and myself when we first got started, we have a really sneaky way for you to be able to leverage the strategy and get started without even using any of your own money. So imagine having somebody help you do this right now, get more calendar bookings, appointments, people to talk to about your stuff without having to invest money to do that. So, there's a
That's
big
awesome.
benefit there. Yeah. And then of course, when you make some money, you can scale that process up from there, of course. And our first appointment setter was actually like, we didn't have an office when we really got our first appointment setter, right? But
Yeah.
we really started to scale things up when I got this office space because we had a lot more expenses. So
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
the appointment setter we had was working abroad, right? Virtual appointment setter. So, for a lot of people, that's a huge benefit because you might want to be taking advantage of different economies, like different price points. Like, for example, people in the Philippines have great English and they can call, make appointments for you using like a Google Voice number. And,
Right.
you can pay them like way less than you can pay somebody in the States. But you can also pay somebody in the States as well. And there are a lot of people right now, and trust me, because I know this to be 100% true. Like, I can just post on social media asking for somebody to help. There are a lot of people at home right now that need a
Yeah, that's
job,
a good
that
point.
need some extra income, and it's easy to show them what they need to do.
Yeah. And I mean that ultimately that's what kind of Yellow Brick Road covers too, right? It's getting them off the ground, it's telling them what to say and getting them up to speed so that you're not having to do it, right?
Exactly, exactly. And like when I said Yellow Brick Road, we're including all of the templates, everything. So
Mhm.
we're actively reaching out to businesses every single day, doing this right through
Yeah.
email, direct message, voicemail, phone calls. You don't have to do all of those. You can do either. We talk about all of them. We also give you all of the scripts and templates that we use to do all of that outreach. And
That's
these aren't just
awesome.
like random scripts and templates, right? These are like battle tested templates that they're changing, they're evolving. And that's what you guys get in the Yellow Brick Road, like stuff that's actually working right now, not just some, PLR stuff that somebody had made that,
Right.
is what I would consider to be fluff. Like that's
Mhm.
fluff. This is real world stuff.
Awesome. So, how soon do you think someone could realistically have an interested client? Say they enroll in Yellow Brick Road today. What does that kind of look like for them?
I mean, it's pretty quick, if you're somebody right now that already has your mind wrapped around like what you're going to be offering to people when somebody sets an appointment, then I mean, you can get in right now and check out, the training, like the training that we have. I mean, it's they're not like 3 hour long videos that are super irritating to watch, right? They're like short,
Right.
actionable, bite-sized videos that you can watch, and you can literally watch that over the course of a day, um, or less if you just sit there and study for a little bit. And then I mean, you can take the strategy and start having like inbound prospects for people to start doing this for you. That's the big thing. Is I'm going to jump back to the revenue producing activities, right? Now that you
Right.
know what we're talking about, as long as I have people out there talking to businesses about me, I'm able to do a lot of the other things that I want to do and focus on other areas of my business that I'm good at, So the way that we've been able to grow and scale in that pandemic is having revenue producing activities going on, regardless of if we're doing them ourselves.
Yep. Yeah, that makes
So,
perfect sense.
so yeah, you can be putting things into play pretty quickly.
Awesome. What about if someone's not in the United States, like say they're in, I don't know, India or something like that? Is this something that they could still implement and make money with and make it work?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, like think about how helpful that would be to have somebody in the States that could be doing your prospecting for you.
That's true. So it could be like a leveraged opportunity to, you know, get people in different time zones to hand them the script and making calls and connections to business owners in their area. I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, and the other way around as well. The
Yeah.
other way around as well. You can be getting some people from somewhere else, like I mentioned, to make to be making calls for you.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything I had for you. Is there anything else that you think that I missed that you might want to throw in? And I'm gonna have some bonus stuff I'm gonna talk about as well, but just as far as anything else related that people might need to know.
The information that I've kind of just shared with you, like a lot of the people that are watching this probably are thinking that, this is going to be like thousands of dollars. And normally this type of information, it does cost that much money. But
Yeah.
right now, the Yellow Brick Road strategy is on a special launch pricing. So we're making it super inexpensive right now just to put the word out there and bring some people into our community. So if you're watching this video right now, the way the launch pricing works is it goes up a little bit over the 4 days of the launch. So if you're watching
Mhm.
the video right now and this is interesting to you, or something like the boxes are being checked, you'll want to go check out what Paul has to offer as
Yeah.
well, his bonus package, because right now at this very moment is probably the most inexpensive price that you can get it at. And so
Yeah, 100%. Link will be
definitely go
below the
check it out.
video as well. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I know like I've seen your launches and they definitely like go up in, I don't know, big percentage from what they start at.
Yeah. Well, this one's going to go up to $197 at the end of the launch.
Okay.
So, and you know, one of the things that we're big on in our business is like when we say the price goes up, it
It
definitely goes
actually
up.
does.
We don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not fake
So,
scarcity here.
yeah, and it's not, you know, we don't do that to be mean. We just do that to be fair to everybody, right? There are a lot of people
Right.
out there that don't do that, and we hate that. So it's just
I agree.
one of our lines in the sand for us to make sure that
Yeah.
we stick to our word.
100%. Yeah, I like that. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hopping on here today. And anyone who's thinking about jumping on that, definitely do, because Nick is in the trenches. And actually, I mean, he's in his office right now, runs a real agency. So there's a lot to learn if you want to be landing clients and you need to scale things up. This is definitely something you want to check out. So thanks so much, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man, and look forward to seeing everybody's success.
All right, guys, so as promised, I do have a bunch of bonuses that I'm giving away. In fact, $6,800 in bonuses for Yellow Brick Road. Literally, all that means is that when you pick up Yellow Brick Road for around $30, you're literally trading that for $6,800 in bonuses from me. Now I'm going to put a link up on here, pauljames.com/bonus. If you visit that link, that's going to take you to the page you're looking at on the screen right now. And I will try to also put the link like, below or above the too, so that you can find it. But there's a video on this page that I've pre-recorded for you. Go watch this video right here. Click play on it. And it's going to walk through exactly what all of my bonuses are and how they work. I'm literally giving you the SOPs, which is step-by-step training, so that I can literally train anyone on your team to actually go out there, set appointments, collect leads, fulfill the work. This is actually like something that you can sell for $5,000. And I'm literally just going to train you or your team how to actually do it. And I'm also going to be holding a live webinar where I'm going to show you how I hire virtual assistants and where I hire them and all that good stuff. And a bunch of other bonuses here. You're going to want to go check them out. Just a crazy immense value that I've put together here for you. So go check that out, learn more about my bonus, and thanks so much for checking this out today. And big thanks to Nick as well for being here. I appreciate it. All right, guys, take care.